Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel. In the previous video, we learned how we can use template driven forms to submit the data and how we can get the values of each input or the value of the form when we submit the data. Like if we put in here John Doe and password will be 123. When we submit, as you can see, this is name John Doe, email john@gmail.com and password 123. Now we want to validate the each input, like we want that the name should be 5 characters long, the email should be like the @ symbol, and after that it should have at least 2 to 3 like this, the 2 to 3 characters, and the password should be 6 or anything like that. So now we will comment this and take another form, and inside here we will take 2 inputs. Now the name, this will be the name of the person or anything. Now we will take a template reference variable and assign its value to ng model, and ng model will bind its value to the form, like it will allow us to get the value of this input. Now its name will be email, or we can say here phone, and its type will be 10, and here we will say hash phone is equal to ng model. So now we also have a button, and its type will be submit, and here we will say submit. Now inside the placeholder we will say enter your name, and here we will say enter your phone. So now we want to validate the input, like we want that it is both are required, and they should be like this should be minimum 5 characters and maximum 10 characters, and the phone should be like minimum 1 and maximum 11, like that. Now here we will say required. Required means that these both fields are required. And now for min length we will say it should be 3 characters and max length should be 10 characters, and the phone should be min length of, like the minimum length should be 1 and maximum length should be 11, like that. Now we want to validate this form, so we will have to use conditions for this. Now for the name, we will say this is for the name, validation for the name input. Now here we will say ngIf. Here we will say when the name is touched. Touched means when we go inside the input, this means that this is touched. Like if we go into inspect, so when we touch this, as you can see, this is here ng touched, and it is ng invalid also because we haven't done anything inside this. So now we will say here when name dot touched, and here we will say another validation like and if name dot invalid and name dot errors dot min length. Now what's it saying? So here we can say like the name should be so it's giving some errors, cannot bind to ngif since it's not known property of span. So here we will say let's do it with the div. Let's what it does. So it's saying that we can't use it here. Here we'll say validate name. We can use here it's still not allowing us to do that. We will here name dot touched. Here we will say ngif name dot invalid. I think we haven't put anything like the store symbol here, so it was giving error. Name dot errors errors dot min length. So we want that when the name is touched, and after that we want that the min length should be the 3 characters. Min length should be 3 characters. And for the maximum length we will copy this, and here we will say when the name is invalid and name dot error dot max length. Max length should be 10 characters. Here we will say 3 characters. Now let's see whether it works or not. So now when we also have to have another ngif for the required like name dot invalid and name dot errors dot required, and here we will say name is required. Let's see what happens when we go inside this and immediately go outside of this. So it says name is required, so it means the validation is working fine. Now we will say 1 2 3, or if we put 1 2 it says min length should be 3 characters. And now if we put more than 10, let's see what happens. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11. So it does not allow us to have more than the maximum length here. Like here we have 10, so it does not allow us to have more than 10 symbols or anything like that, the characters. So here we can say, so this is not allowing us to exceed the limit of maximum length. So there is no like, we if we put the validation or not, it's same, because it does not allow us to do that. Now for the phone number, we can also use, like here we can say after the name, it should be after the name, like here. So now we can also use, like their color should be red. We can go inside its CSS file, and for span we can say color should be red, like here we'll say. So this is color is red, and margin left should be 5 px. Let's see what happens. 6 or 7 px, maybe 8. So this is fine. Name is required, and when we put 1 2 3, so it says min length should be 3 characters. Now for the password, we will say, we will copy this, and here we will say, not here, inside this, no, inside this validation for the phone input. We just have to use this phone, because this phone is coming from this template reference variable. Here we will copy this and paste it here, and here phone should be 11 characters. Now but let's see what happens. Now name, not, it should be phone is required of phone. So now when we go inside and immediately go outside of this, so as you can see, this is telling that this is required. Now if we put 1 2 3, so its minimum length is 1, so this we can increase its limit, like here we'll say 1. So this is saying that minimum length of should be 3 characters, sorry, 3 characters or 2 characters, like this. It's saying minimum length of phone should be 2 characters. Now if we put 2 characters, the error is gone. So this is how we use the validation or the conditions to validate our inputs and prevent the user to submit the data before it is according to our needs. We can also use the disabled condition. We want that if the name or the phone is invalid, it should be disabled. Name dot invalid and name dot or the phone dot invalid. So as you can see, this is like we cannot touch it because it is disabled. Now if we go here and put anything, like here we will say John Doe, and here, so it's not working fine, I think. Name that invalid or So now here we'll put John Doe. Here we'll say 1 2 3. Now if I do anything like here, we can cut it, so this is also showing the validation here, and also the button is disabled because our phone is invalid. So when we put this, it says that you can submit the like data now. We will also use a method here, save form data, and here we will say form data, and this like log this console.log form data. So now when we here we'll say when we submit this, so this is not working fine because we haven't used the ng submit here. Ng submit is equal to save form data. Here we can use like hash form is equal to ng form dot value. So now if we put it anything like here, we'll say submit. So here we can say save form data. Like here we will input this. As you can see, this is submitted the data, like name is this, phone is this, and this is how we use the validation inside our template driven forms in Angular. Thanks for watching the video. In the next video we will learn the reactive forms and how we handle the data using the reactive forms.